And there was the, and then of course, there was a ton of dogs there, so it all went according to plan. So we are back doing a show after the Labor Day weekend. We were not here on Labor Day. Did some other things. Weather is still pretty hot, actually. It was 90 degrees yesterday. We had some well-needed rain. It was 102 on Wednesday and then 75 and raining on Thursday. So that was a really, really nice break. Nice to be back in the studio. Nice to be back on track. Good Monday morning to everybody. Yesterday was 9/11, and I was actually, Andy, surprised at the lack of recognition, I guess you would want to say. My Facebook feed 10, 12 years ago was nothing but. Today, or yesterday, not so much. It was surprising. It's not that people have forgotten, I think. It's just that people have forgotten, I think. So I was disappointed. We had the Freedom Ride here in Great Falls, Montana. They do it every year. And rain or shine, snow, blizzards, doesn't matter. If we had an eclipse, they'd do it in the dark of night. So, it's a community unification thing. It's a remembrance. I was really disappointed. I just was. So I shared a couple things that I had posted a couple of years ago yesterday, but I don't know. Maybe it's just one of the effects of the after effects. The apathy is one of the after effects of the COVID lockdown that we went through. We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago about the COVID lockdown. I wanted to touch a little more on it. The effects of the lockdown that it had on us in America, the world, everybody as a society. First of all, of course, you notice the big transfer of wealth, I want to call it, or like to call it. For instance, when the lockdown hit Great Falls, Montana, Tracy's, restaurant, Perez Food Market, the Longhorn Casino, the Do Bar, Godfather's Pizza, all the local businesses were like instantly closed down. However, the Mormons that run Albertsons were just cooking with gas. McDonald, Sam Walmart, Sam Walmart, and Sam, the whole family of Walmart. There's Sam and Bernie and Eleanor, and it's just a big Walmart family. They're always having brunch on your money. Transfer of wealth. All the money went to the big businesses. That meant loss of income if you were a local business. We were at Monkey Business, set up studio here in Great Falls during the pandemic, and we could not get the advertisers. We had to just move and just wait the storm out. We had kids at home, okay? We had kids at home with parents at home trying to balance their work and be educators. Parents aren't teachers, but parents learned what it is to have a curriculum and teach their kids. You know, you have your kids, you know, they're home from school, you're doing homeschool. It's like, fuck it, I'm kicking my kids out of school. It's an eye-opener for parents, very much. And then we need to, as a parent, we learned what the curriculum was and what Common Core was and how 2 + 2 didn't equal 4. It was 5 + 5 is 10, divided by 2 is 5 minus 1 is, there you go, 4. And see how I got there? That's core math. Hey. Because we were locked down, social media exploded. We were all locked down. We didn't have anything to do. Division lines were drawn during the pandemic lockdown. As far as I was concerned, if you thought, I've been on the internet for years. I've hosted websites. I've done seminars. I've done podcasting. I've done internet radio stations. Internet went nuts about 2 years into Obama's second term. Everybody started going crazy. Now, you can't trust anybody, any source, anybody. We got the COVID thing. We're locked down. The social media is exploding. We can't trust anybody. And you know who's in the forefront, giving us our information, guiding us through the COVID pandemic? Why? It's the Three Stooges. Who are the Three Stooges, you say? Dr. Anthony Fauci, Donald Trump, and Andrew Cuomo. I don't know which stooge to put in. You know, who's Mo, who's Curly, who's Mo, who's Larry, and is there Curly or Shemp? Who do we have? Personally, Curly was my favorite. I liked Curly better than Shemp, but Simi likes Shemp. So, but they weren't. They were the Three Stooges. You had Fauci, you had Trump, you had Cuomo. None of them could be agree on anything. And of course, every media outlet in the country, in the land of Oz, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's right. Every media corporation covered it one way or the other. Oh, Fauci's right. Oh, Trump's right. Oh, Cuomo's right. Nobody's right. Pipewrench is right. The Weekly Bust is right. Everybody's right. Nobody's right. You can't believe anybody. It divided the country even furthermore. The political division that happened during COVID. You guys actually went to war over a piece of cloth. You know how fucking ridiculous that is? Do you know how ridiculous that is? It's a piece of cloth. And speaking of cloth, let's not forget all the studies that have come out since the lockdown. Andy, how come I don't... How long were we locked down, Andy? We were April from 2020 to January of 2021. That was your full lockdown. So we were locked down damn near 8-9 months. Nobody's doing anything. Job losses. It comes out now that maybe being locked down wasn't the greatest idea in the world. It really didn't save, a whole lot of lives. It didn't really make a lot of difference. And before your head explodes, this is coming from both liberal and conservative medias. Okay? Everybody from Fox News to CBS is telling us that studies say maybe we shouldn't have been locked down. 22 million people lost jobs during the lockdown. Landlords, had forgiveness. They couldn't get their money. You couldn't go to the hospital because the hospitals were like, nope, we're full of COVID. If you have a heart attack, too bad. You have a heart attack, you got to tough it out. That's what we did in the old days. We toughed it out. You couldn't go. Dental, checkups, none of that shit. I didn't go, during the COVID, I didn't go anywhere. Not only that. I mean, think of the other things that went on while we're locked down. You know, I'm just talking about economics right now. You know, economics and, you know, that political disinformation shitstorm that was coming from the Three Stooges. Okay? In the media, you know. And meanwhile, everybody's locked up. Mental health issues are suffered greatly. People getting lazy. People getting obese. People having alcohol problems. Alcohol consumption went out through the roof. Everybody's like, yeah, we're locked down. Let's day drink. Drug abuse, fentanyl overdoses, record highs, spousal abuse, child abuse. This is just what we're knowing reporting, because most of the reporting agencies, of course, were closed down. So it's just a terrible thing going on. People are dying of drugs, they're dying of alcoholism, people are working from home and not doing a very good job. I mean, locking people down is why we have the problems we have now. Let me explain a little bit. I went to college, and thank you for everybody who's paying for my college degree. It's the interest that comes off the back end, and never mind. I took a couple sociology classes. I have a degree. This is a classic sociology 101. Everybody is now unlocked down. We were locked down, losing our jobs, watching Walmart make money. We're getting mental health issues. We're getting crazy. We're being like the guy on Robert De Niro on Taxi Driver. We're drinking. We're doing drugs. We're beating our spouses, hitting our dogs. And now the lockdown is over, and everybody's been like out of jail. Okay? Everybody's now out of jail. And now, if you think the political shitstorm was something, now we got some shit going on. Now that everybody is unlocked, Sociology 101, it's called basically Run Riot. Everybody, the masses do what everybody else is doing. And what is everybody else doing because of the lockdown? First of all, that big movement where everybody adopted a shelter dog and adopted a puppy, and everybody was warm and fuzzy over the COVID. Oh, they're adopting dogs. Over 50% of those animals have either been surrendered to shelters, tortured, or put down since the lockdown. I knew it was coming. I told you it was coming. I told you it was coming a long time ago. Shootings. Let's talk about shootings. Shootings are going on everywhere in the United States of every kind. Church, concerts, stores, the malls, theaters, parties, bars. Montana, we had one Andy in Kalispell, Billings, Missoula, and that's just people shooting people. We've also had a couple law enforcement shootings. People aren't happy with shooting each other. People are stabbing. They have swords now. There's beatings. People are getting beat on the subway system and probably the subway restaurants. We have had Burger King, we've had McDonald's, we have had Wendy's, all making news where workers are attacking customers, put the guy in a coma, killed another guy. They're walking down the sidewalk, just hitting and beating up people. Okay, they're just going crazy. All right, you got police officers being shot in record numbers across the United States. I mean, everywhere there's officers being shot, and not only that, police shooting civilians, the numbers are up also. So, I mean, it doesn't help that the former president has declared war on the Department of Justice and the FBI. You don't do that. The people are, they're divided enough. The internet has gone crazy, Facebook, Instagram. No one can get along. No one can get along at all. It's so divided. It's red and blue. This guy and that guy. Us, them. It's amazing how it's going, and it is going. Everybody, it seems like, has an agenda, and everybody is so divided that I think that the biggest news story out there is we've got stories out there that aliens exist, okay? I mean, really. We've had, first of all, we don't call them aliens, we don't call them UFOs anymore. They're unidentified aerial phenomena. That'd be a UAP. Yep. It'd be a UP. We're so divided. We've come out of the COVID lockdown, divided as hell, arguing about everything. And it's been in the news for quite a while now that there's aliens. Military officers have been on 60 Minutes. The Pentagon has come out with a statement. Congress, ditto, in a statement. Snoop Dogg has issued a statement. Come out. Obama's talked about it. Other countries have weighed in and agreed. Great Britain, France, Canada, China, Russia, they all are on board with this. They're all like, yeah, there's aliens out there. They're getting more pictures. We've got that triangular light shape that is in the skies. They've got them in California, I think in Russia, a couple other places in Europe where they've got good pictures. They're fessing up to Area 51. They're like copping out to the X-Files. Nobody gives a rat's ass. Everybody's too divided. Everybody's they're either red or they're blue. They're either this or that. It's either us versus them. Don't you get it that there's aliens? They've come out and admitted it. Yeah, we've been lying to you the whole time. There's aliens. We admit it. We come out of the lockdown. We were locked down for almost a year, like I said. We were like just cabin fever. Everybody's locked down, scared to death, getting disinformation from, again, the Three Stooges. In case you're just tuning in, that's Anthony Fauci, Donald Trump, and Andrew Cuomo. I think we put Dr. Fauci is definitely Larry, and Donald Trump would be Mo, and Cuomo would have to be, he's more curly than he is Shim. There we go. Aliens. Nobody cares. It's like there's aliens in your back freaking yard, and you don't care. I want to ask the Christians and the Muslims and the other religious folks out there, how does aliens play into your theory? I know that Christianity, well, I know the Bible because I'm a recovering Catholic, and I feel guilty about that, says God created man in his own image. And if I look like this, and aliens are green with like big eyes, and they look like Geico guy and whatever, then I just find it hard to believe. Andy, I just can't. I am dumbfounded that we are so divided as a country that the lockdown has affected us so bad. Now, I blame the lockdown for everything. Everything, societal-wise, psychologically, mentally, health-wise, addiction-wise, what society's doing now. We have road rage. We are a very uncaring, don't give a fuck, who cares what you're going through type of society right now. And I think that's part of the lockdown. I think it's coming out of the lockdown. It's cabin fever. It's run riot. It's sociology 101. We're locked out. Landlords aren't getting their money. Local businesses aren't getting their money. And then we're not locked down. Now the fast foods are open and they're beating people up. I know I'm rambling, but Jesus Christ. There's aliens out there, and we're so distracted. We're so divided as a nation. It's either left or it's right. There's no in between. It's either red or blue. There's no purple. Okay? And aliens appear to be purple. That'd be cool. And then, yeah, we're purple. We're calling aliens to brunch, and they're purple. That would be cooler than shit, man. But I don't think the aliens are cool, actually, because aliens are going to be, what's the story? They got to be more advanced than us. And I mean a shit pile, okay? So if they're more advanced than us, and they are cruising around, then what are we? If we were food, they'd landed, taken our food, eaten us and gone. Or I presume. If they would need the minerals, they'd come take them. We're not going to be like we're going to get more. Are we a science experiment? Are we a prison farm? Are we a reject and we're started over and they're going to see how long it takes to do whatever? I don't know. All I know is that the Congress is right here. Congress has admitted to Area 51. They've admitted to aliens and everything, and nobody gives a goddamn because they're so divided. And we've come out of the lockdown with nothing, just blinders on, and you can't see the forest for the trees because aliens exist. They're here, Andy. I think we have one scheduled for a guest next week. Let's talk about last week a little bit before we get out of here and get everybody running around on their week. The big news, of course, last week is the Queen. The Queen is dead. Now, I know that a lot of you think that's a big deal. The Queen is dead. May I remind you that I am Scot, Welsh, and Irish. My dad was Scot, Welsh. My mother was Irish, so I'm half Irish. England, if you ever are familiar with Braveheart, conquered Scotland, and they still exercise military control over 4 counties in Ireland, which you call Northern Ireland. So, the Queen's dead. All right, let's move on. Ukraine is looking pretty cool right now. As of this morning, when I was peeking in the newsroom, Ukraine has taken back approximately, and I'm saying approximately, just like I said back earlier, that people coming out of the coming out of the lockdown are crazy. I mean, approximately, most of them are crazy. Ukraine has taken back approximately 25 to 30% of all lost territory in a counter-offensive. You got troops deserting. Putin's calling for more conscript. Nobody wants to go to war. I see last week he was in a meeting doing the Putin. We're doing the Putin. The big news, of course, is the nuclear reactor that's in Ukraine. It's the biggest one in Europe, and they're going back and forth and back and forth. And the reactor people, Andy, who are the reactor people? I mean, the reactor people, I don't know if they're American, they're Swiss, they're Russian, they're Ukrainian. They're there checking it out all the time. They don't like what they're seeing. They're shelling it, but, you know. Maybe if we were all in lockdown, Andy, and there was 22 people, a million people, job, we were all having an alcohol problem and fentanyl problem, we wouldn't be in war. No. What else happened last week? The Queen died, and Ukraine's got the counter-offensive. Oh, Putin's rattling his saber again. I'm going to nuke people. College football got off to a full, cool weekend, finally. Montana State, and Michigan all won big at home, respectively. The big game this weekend that I watched, I couldn't just turn away, was the Alabama-Texas game. They were in Texas, and Texas had them on the ropes, I would say, the whole game. They were down to the second-string quarterback that was hurt, and Nick Saban pulled it out. 9 seconds, Andy, to go. 20-19. Of course, all the Sunday news sources yesterday were saying Saban's mad at his team. They didn't look very well. What else, Andy? That's about it. We got everybody knowing about lockdown, how we felt. I don't feel it was necessary. I don't feel that it helped the people live or die. I thought that the people that were going to die died anyway. I thought that listening to the Three Stooges was mind-boggling for all of us. I thought that now we're suffering, right now. You know, right now we're suffering from it. You can see it every day. I was going to do a thing on shootings, Andy. I mean, I was going to say, okay, we've had this many shootings and be specific on where. I can't keep up, people. I'm serious. You know, there was the big one in Memphis, and then there was the one in Atlanta, and now there's another one in... So, in this crazy, crazy, crazy world, I want you all to have a great, great week. Make sure you got your duck and cover drills, because Putin's saber rattling one more time. So, duck and cover, if you're in New York, what is it, Andy? They run indoors or they run outdoors? They run indoors and hide under a chair. Duck and cover. Remember to kiss your dog. And Andy, we out here? We out here. Kiss your dog. Adopt, don't shop, rescue. Come on, people, get on the wagon. Till next week, we'll see y'all later.